Hey guys, Rick here, your high level man. We're going to have a little fun today. We're going to do a cut in on this guy right here. I'm going to be going through some principles that are very important, as the cutting in of a hair system is so much different than just getting a haircut. There are things that make it look right, real, and perfect. So hang around. I'm going to be right back and we're going to dig into this. Okay, guys, welcome back. Rick here. I hope all of you are doing absolutely awesome. We're going to be cutting in this guy. This system actually belongs to a client. It is a man who got in touch with me, who is local to my area, and had questions about a Super Hair Pieces hair system. So we had consultation with him. What fun is it that you can reinvent yourself and transform yourself in that way, to the point that the improvements are so dramatic that your friends don't recognize you and that they're amazed. And so I can't wait to see what happens when he gets hair on his head for the very first time. Uh, Anything can happen, guys. We just need to look at ourselves and say, like you've heard me say before, is this the best that I can do? So, anyway, let's get into it. And the reason I'm doing this, you might say, well, Rick, you're going to give away all your secrets, right? Because this is a profession. This is something that you're trained to do. This is not something that you can learn to do yourself in, a 15-minute YouTube video. So before I begin, let me just say, yes, I absolutely do have an edge because of my 46 years of experience. And can you do this at home yourself? Well, you may have some natural talent there, who knows? But this is for those that I have talked with, which there have been many who say, Rick, there's just no one in my area. I live rurally, I live in another state, and I'm going to have to do it all, because when I talk to my local barber, they won't touch this with a 10-foot pole. And I understand that. And so this might be a video that you could take to your barber. I really do want to help you. I mean, I've got business. I'm not trying to build business, not at this age, even though I want you to come to me. I enjoy meeting you, and I really want you to come to me really, really bad, if it's at all possible. But for those cases to where you cannot, this is for you, that you can watch this. Maybe you can convince a barber friend or whatever that, hey, look, this is what happens when he does this. And to the barber, it will make more sense than it actually will to you. So let's just dig into it. So first of all, a few things that you're going to do different than a regular haircut. I'm going to turn Mr. Henry around here, and this is the back, and I'm going to part this off, and I am going to leave a very thin section in the back, just like that. Very thin section, because when you get these systems cut in, you can't blend the haircut completely like you normally would, because if I cut the system hair to blend with the exact length of the bio hair, when you comb it down and around, there's going to look like a line and a gap there, and that's what you don't want. So you want to over direct this a bit. You want to be just slightly disconnected, but if you want it to look blended, it's got to be a little disconnected, but it's got to be made thin to the point that it blends in with the hair that's already there. So you're not creating any kind line, and I'm going to use a razor here to do this. So let me turn him back around, bend his head down. And I will also say this is kind of a pre-cut on this system. When he comes in for it tomorrow, I will do the finish cut. This will be to show you kind of what I'm doing and to get a lot of this 8 inches of hair that we don't need out of my way. But we're going to get probably about 60, 70% there right now with what I'm doing. So I'm not going to just chop the end of this off, just chisel around right there. I'm going to come up into this, I'm going to stay about an inch away from the edge of the system, and I'm going to razor down so I gradually thin that out to where it's going to blend nicely. Can you see that? I'm probably in the way. Right there. Okay, now I'm going to turn it down. Now, obviously, we're still not going to leave it that long, but you can see how much I've thinned that out, right? So let me see if I can get on this side. Camera may have been at the wrong angle. Way up about an inch from the edge of the system, and I am coming down. And I am leaving it just as scraggly as can be at that very bottom edge. I'm going to take a little more out of that, just all in through there. Because honestly, when it gets to the very bottom, I don't want you to be able to really even see or tell that it's just going to thin out until it disappears around that bottom edge. Okay, so I'm going to go a little fast forward here to get some of this off. You got the message. You got the point. See how very thin that is? Very thin, very uneven. And I'm going to look for places like all in through there. That's still too thick. And it's going to be shorter than this whenever I do it on him tomorrow. But that's still too thick and bulky because that's just the very first little thin section, and I want it to barely be there. There we go. That's better. The unit that I have is the M101V, which, as you've heard me say, as dedicated as I have always been to the HD111, man, I've ordered this the last couple of times, M101V. So it's a win-win. HD111, M101V, M101, what is it, XT, whatever that one is. Yeah, they're all win-wins. It just depends on what you have. So see, this is an M101V right now. And oh man, yeah, I love it. Okay, section. Uh-oh, I think I broke his neck. And we're going to slice that again. Very thin. And you see, I'm not just where I want that cut line to be. I'm not just coming in here and going, because that's going to create too blunt of an edge of a line. I'm coming way up and slicing to get that thin down. I think I just sliced my finger. Ouch. Going back up in there and giving some texture to that. Yeah. And also by doing it this way, you're cutting a lot of different lengths. Up in the hair. It's not just hair brought up and cut off. You're creating all this texture coming up. so that whenever you put this on your head, you put some product in it and you comb it around, it's going to have some movement. It's going to have some life to it instead of just being heavy and flat, sticking to your head and hard to do anything with. Makes a big, big difference. Bring this up close again so you can see how thin that bottom edge is. See, a little too much right there still. Well, I don't know. Not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. You guys like my movie posters? These are very, very old. Roy Rogers, Mary Hart, Frontier Pony Express. I love these things. The John Wayne one, a smaller one over here. They're all kind of Western themed, so it's fun. Okay, now I have got a couple of sections come back here. I'm going to part it off and come over to the side and do the very same thing. But here is where you have to be a bit of an artist, because we have an overall look that we want him to have. We want it to be a little bit longer in the front, very similar to what I'm doing here. A little longer in the front, blended in the back. So I want to make sure when I get up to the temple area that I've got plenty of hair to work with. And that's where experience comes in, okay? That's where it's going to be hard for you that's watching this without any experience at all is going to have a hard time. But a trained professional, this will make a lot of sense too. Very thin, very thin. Now, this is exactly what I've done to this, what I've done to mine, what I've done to all of them. It's been a long time since I've had a disconnected weight line. I like the idea of that. I like the look of that. But somehow, and I'll start off that way, but somehow I always wind up going back and blending it in. So I don't know, maybe I'm trying to live some kind of dream. Maybe it's because I want to pretend like I'm way younger than I am. No, we won't even go there. All the way about an inch from the edge of the system, sweeping down to thin this hair out. Okay. Now, if you want to come see me, you can email me or you can call my salon, which it's Rick's Hair Company in Cleveland, Texas. The number is 817-641-3428. Or you can email me and I will give you my cell number, which is really my preferred way because I'm not always right on top of the answering machine, the voicemail at the shop, but I will get it on my cell phone. So sending me a text message saying, hey, Rick, I'm interested in an appointment. I'm interested in a consultation. There's several ways we can do this. You can come in. You can order a system from Super Hair Pieces. Watch the videos that I have and do the template, glue it on your head, put a ball cap on, come into me, and I will do the super slick cut in for you. Or if you want to say, I don't have confidence to do any of that, let me know. We'll have a consultation. I'll advise you on which system to order, what's going to work best for your lifestyle, what color to get, whether you need skin lace, whatever that might be to fit your lifestyle. Then I will order it for you, get it for you, and make an appointment and do it. I will have done for you exactly what I've done here. This guy's coming in and he's doing the whole enchilada, right? And so it's no stress on him. He's just going to come in tomorrow and leave with great looking hair on his head. Now, here's what you will get from me. For the cost is that I don't do memberships, which is what is the going thing right now. I have pretended to be a man looking for a hair system, and I've called every place known to man to see what the cost would be. So I would kind of have an idea of how to price out what I'm doing. And it all requires memberships. And those memberships mean that you're you're a slave to that particular company. And so I didn't really want to do that because I want to empower you to do this. I want it to be something that's affordable for you to do. And so I would call, and to get the benefit of what I do to myself, um, it would cost me a flat rate of $700 a month. And that's just more money that I would want to spend, or that I'm going to spend. I'm just not going to spend. So I decided what I wanted to do in the name of service, really, and really, truly concern, so that you're able to get this hair on your head. Is you come to me, I take care of all the details. We've done the consultation. You come in the consultation. I do the template. I have that ready for you. When your system comes to me, I cut it to fit the template that I've made. I do this preliminary cut to get some of this hair out of my way. I call you. We schedule an appointment. You come in, and this is what's of value. I have a starter kit here, and it has everything you need to get started. It has the C22, it has the scalp protector, and it has the Walker's Ultra Hold Bond. If indeed that's the way that we decide for you to go, which, you know how I push that. I know the Ghost Bond is easier to work with, but it's just not the best choice for me. But it could be for you, so that's something that we can try and experiment with. But here's the value, is that whenever you are in to get your new hair on your head, we have installing hair system 101 class right then, right there. I go through every step. I don't take this off to another room to prepare it and bring it back and put it on your head. You're going to watch every single thing that I do. I'm going to explain everything that I'm doing, why I'm doing it that way. I'm going to talk about things not to do, to be wary of, and to be careful of, that could get you in some trouble. And we're going to install that system, and I'll show you every step of the way, answer any questions you have. And it takes a bit of time to do all of that and to do that class. But when you leave, not only do you leave with hair on your head, but you leave with the education that this time next week, when you're going to take this bad boy off, you're going to know exactly how to clean it up. You're going to know exactly what to do to get it on your head, and will eliminate a lot of the problems and pitfalls that I see happen so often and so many times. So I just talked with a guy. He's never been in. He's watched all my YouTube videos, and he took a day off work to put hair on his head. He said, I gave myself the whole day. And when I talked to him that afternoon, he said, Rick, it's been on and off of my head 20 times. What am I doing wrong? I thought, oh, that literally broke my heart. I am not kidding. I wanted to get in the car and say, where are you? I'm coming, you know. But of course, I couldn't do that. He finally made it. He finally was successful at it. But so all of that just to say, once you leave with this hair, then you're able to do it. You're not going to be paying that $700 a month. You're not going to be incurring any more expense other than just the supplies that you use. So, with that being said, let's continue on with this guy's haircut. This is holding it out, and all of this that I've cut previously falls out. And I elevate that at about 2 inches. And I do the very same thing. I start up about 1.5 inches with the second line, and I come down and cut off this very thin little swatch. Once again, there we go. And this dude is looking good already. Now, also, depending on the style, for me, I always cut the short side of the part, the left side, I part my hair on the left, a little bit shorter right in the temple area, so that I don't have hunks of hair hanging down on the short side of that part. That to me can be a dead giveaway, depending on the style, if you've got a blended style. And so there's some things like that that I tweak that is more in the artistic realm of what I do. So the gentleman coming tomorrow to me uh, took my advice and ordered two systems because I said, you can't imagine how much time that saves. Because we're all about what? Two things, three things, I don't know, maybe just three, but number one, the cost factor. Number two, the time factor. Who wants to spend 2 hours in the bathroom trying to get hair on your head? So if you have one system and it's your day of the week to replace it and to reinstall it, and you have one, well, you've got to get the one that's on your head off. You've got to get that one cleaned up, get all the glue and the bond off of it. And that takes a little bit of time. You've got to get that system dry. You've got to put the bond on your head. You got to put new glue on the system. And so, there's some time involved in that. If you have two, you take the one that you have on your head, you dab it with cotton, spray it with C22. I put it in a dish to soak. All right. Now, you say, was that C22 hard on the system? I have left it in there for 5 days before, and I could not tell one thing that happened to the hair system. But the beauty of that is this: I take the one off that I've worn all week, do that, let it soak, and then guess what? I have one right over here that's clean and ready to go. So this is the process. Take it off, see cotton, C22, put it to the side, grab the new one, put my bond around the edges of it. I've cleaned my head up, wash that off so it's all nice and squeaky clean. Turn over, flip that bad boy up, put it on my head. And the whole process, I have been in the bathroom, get this, 8 minutes max. 8 minutes max. Now, I've been doing this for a while, and I don't want you first timers and you guys that are just started doing this to get discouraged, because that was not the case in the beginning, because I had to learn. There was a learning curve. There were a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes. I got into lots of problems. I'd try to get it on my head and I'd get hair stuck in under the system. I'd get it in the wrong spot in the front. I'd get it crooked. You just name it, it would go wrong. But after a little while, you begin to get a rhythm about it all. You know exactly where to hold it and what to do to get it there. And so, man, it just happens really, really lightning fast. And then once I have that thing on my head, I don't think about it again until it's time to come off. I don't worry about the wind, the rain, the swimming pool, the hot tub, the gym. I don't worry. Literally don't think about it. So that's the advantage of having two. Then, whenever I am watching TV at night, uh, or I have nothing to do, there's no pressure of time, I'll go in there and get that unit that's dirty, that's soaking, and I'll just sit down with it while I'm watching TV, and I'll just kind of work and clean it up. It doesn't take a terribly long time at all once it's been soaking a while. I usually try to clean it up before 5 days. Not that, like I said, I don't think it bothers it, but anyway, that's the time savings. So we got to do money saving, time saving, and you can. Now, I've got, it's a very humbling thing, but I've got guys flying to me from all over the place. Uh, Even a man that's retired from Mexico that says, okay, I'm getting on a plane, I'm coming. I said, well, hey, I would love to meet you. Let's have a good time. But my main goal is to say, hey, you can do this. Probably not the cut in. You need to find a professional. And maybe if you've got one that's good enough friend, you can say, hey, I'll pay you to watch this video to see what this guy's doing, so that they feel more comfortable. Because you know what? Once this hair's cut, it does not grow back. You're kind of stuck. Here we go. Am I still in the frame? Now you want to keep this baby very wet. Are we having fun yet? I know I am. All right. Take the center section, pick this up. And we're going to start cutting. And I will also add that in the styling, which I'm going to do a styling video, probably the next one I do is going to be a styling video, and I will do it on myself, but I will talk about this, and that is the very first time, if you are happy with a style that you can put a little gel or mousse into this, comb it into place and let it dry. And then after it's dry, you can kind of comb it out or whatever. That's such a great way to go because it's that heat from that blow dryer can be hard on the system itself. So that's great. I can't get enough of what I want out of that. Now, I don't have any hairspray or anything on this, but it feels real good. And this attachment was just last night. So it's a fresh attachment. And when I get this very retro, 30s kind of thing going, it's kind of glued down because I want it to stay that way all day. But it sure is nice to be able just to run your fingers through it. Plus, we were out in the convertible yesterday. It was a beautiful day. I did a little short video of that. And so the wind was blowing like crazy and it felt so good. So guys that are new, they want to talk about this. Well, how does it feel? Does it feel like a rug on your head? I said, well, I've been doing this a while now. So I look back though at when I first started this process. And the way I would answer that question would be this: I don't notice it. Now, a thicker skin unit than what the HD111 and the M101V and the M101, all of those with the thin skin systems, uh, I don't notice them at all. But if you had one that you said, you know what, I want my hair system to last a year, and so you're getting a thinner skin for the system, uh, then you're going to feel that. As a matter of fact, I tried one that was a thicker skin, and I made this comment: feels like I have a scab on my head. I didn't really like it so much. So, yeah, I don't feel it. But in that convertible, when the wind's blowing it, I don't know how to say it except it just feels like your hair. I mean, I feel it blowing. My scalp feels it blowing. It's just really kind of crazy. Okay, we're getting to the finish line with this guy. This is beautiful hair on this unit, I'm just telling you. And it just happens that this particular unit, this color, the whole bit is exactly what I like. Now, the one I have on is actually a unit that I ordered with a little less gray. And you guys have made lots of comments about that. It looks darker in this video, I can tell already, than it really is. Uh, and the reason I get it darker sometimes is because my natural hair, my bio hair around the edges, is still dark up around there. So if I get it really gray, it's real hard for me to blend it, even though I'm going from this completely white beard. You would think it'd look better to have completely white hair too. And I do like the way that looks. It just doesn't blend with my natural hair. But I still do it on occasion. Okay. His haircut is finished. And then I am going to explain what I'm going to do tomorrow when this is on his head. It's a little bit difficult on this mannequin because the system itself is not super secure on here. And so when I style it, I will be blowing this with a blow dryer straight up. Oops. And I've already cut his other system in to the preliminary haircut. It had a little bit more curl to it than this one does. This one's is a little bit on the straight side, which I do not prefer at all, but it will still work. But the other one is glorious. So once again, you've heard me say, these are made with human hands. So everybody's perspective is different. What's 40% gray to one, maybe 45% gray to another. What's a certain size curl in a system to one might be a little different with others. Plus, we're dealing with human hair and chemicals and how it responds to it. So it's going to respond to it in different ways. So just be prepared for that. There's really no way to avoid it. So just know every one of these that you order is going to vary just a little bit. So there we have it. He'll be good to go. Tomorrow he'll be wearing this thing out. Okay, so one little thing I'll show you. So here's the side. You can see how when that brushes back, how thin that will be and how that line will literally disappear because it's thin. And it'll even be thinner than this when I do it tomorrow and have it on his head. So anyway, there he goes. Boy, howdy, this has been a long video. I'm going to have to edit this down some. So take care, guys. Rick, you're a high-level man. Subscribe, like if you have not to my channel. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to meet you even more. So anyway, peace out, guys. Take care.